Dan O'Clown is back at it again with some more of his usual tricks. It's not very fun, it's not very impressive, and frankly, it's a bit tiring. Let's discuss the Dawn Project. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. A big quick thanks to newest subscribers on X, Trent, Alex, Mark, and Donald. Thank you guys so much for your decision to support the channel. It means a lot to me. It's how we're able to keep going. You can support by using my referral code or becoming a patron on Patreon, YouTube channel member, or X subscriber, all these ways. Super helpful. Appreciate it so much. Well, you know, if you hear the squeaking of balloon animals being made, that wasn't your imagination. Dust off your juggling pins and get ready to mow down some mannequins. Boys and girls, it's that time of year again. Tesla critic buys Super Bowl ads urging Tesla boycott over autopilot. Is it autopilot or FSD we're going after this time? Interesting question. And remember, every ad that you see on the Super Bowl, every EV ad is already an ad for Tesla, as we discussed in a video just yesterday. And by the way, a viewer did point out that it's kind of funny that I'm talking about ads that will never happen while showing an image of a stadium that hasn't been built for a team that is not even playing. Yeah, a little cultural and language barrier with the editor. I still think it's a great image. So what we've got here is, Big Dan, boycott Tesla. Ads to air during Super Bowl. Are they? And I'll just spare you the trouble. They're not. I watched the Super Bowl, the whole thing, beginning to end, did not see one ad for the Dawn Project. A California tech entrepreneur, I'll allow it, is paying more than $500,000. No, he's not. I'm gonna call BS on that. And right there, you should know these are not Super Bowl ads. If they're $500,000, unless what he bought was 5 seconds, if that, no, not even. A super criticizing for not disabling its autopilot technology outside of the conditions for which it was designed. Hey, guess what? You can use cruise control in all kinds of places. You can use it in a parking lot. It's not designed for that. General Motors should be held to account. A problem highlighted by a Washington Post investigation and later cited in a recall of every Tesla equipped. What was the recall about again? Remind me. That's right. Driver monitoring. Because you see, most cars do not have driver monitoring with their ADAS systems. Other companies have products similar to autopilot, ProPilot, Drive Assist, a bunch of them. We'll get to that in a minute. But it doesn't have the same kind of scrutiny. Shouldn't those cars be recalled for not having driver monitoring at all? Okay. In its second consecutive year, Dan O'Dowd has run an ad campaign on television's biggest night. He leads the Dawn Project. No, he is the Dawn Project. A group, no, it's just him, that has sought to ban Tesla driver assistance technology. The latest campaign is unequivocal. Boycott Tesla. Hey, the last ads worked so great, Dan, I can see why you would double down. The latest campaign, yeah, got to boycott Tesla. Now, maybe the reason he has such problems getting the car to stop and start when he wants it to is because of the big floppy shoes, because he's a clown. One ad features footage running over child-sized mannequins. Depictions that have previously led Tesla to issue a cease and desist letter. Well, letters don't affect Dan. He can't read. No, I'm sure he can read. But I'm sure he didn't. It's unfair to call him a clown. At least those guys went to college. Did you go to college, Dan? Is your alma mater proud? I'm sure they are. O'Dowd was compelled to bring awareness to the latest issue of what he calls the most incompetent software he's ever seen. That's dishonest. You've never seen software more I mean, I can think of a dozen off the top of my head, but so good. Dan O'Dowd founded Green Hill Software, which makes operating systems for cars and airplanes. It's more than operating systems. He makes compilers. He makes other things too. But interestingly, he does not make anything for Tesla. And I'm sure that's why he's got sand in his mankini. He's upset that everyone's willing to put a few bucks to help him fund his crusades except Tesla? What possible reason is there that they don't disable autopilot on roads that they say are not safe? Because it hasn't been a problem. Teslas are still the safest vehicles on the road. When using FSD beta, they have the least crashes of any category of vehicle. When it's just a Tesla on autopilot, still safe, not quite as safe. And when it's just a Tesla generally, still far safer than the average. We know, we have seen these numbers. So at some point, you have to allow for humans to be in control of their own destiny. Again, why doesn't other companies, why do they allow cruise control to be operated in places where it wasn't intended to be used? Because at some point, the human is responsible, and it's never really been an issue. You can point to a couple anecdotes and say, oh yeah, that's great. Tesla and its chief did not respond to a request for comment. Musk accused O'Dowd of a conflict of interest because Greenhill's customer is Mobileye. Mobileye. Which cars use that? Implementations. Audi's Traffic Jam Pilot, Audi A8 Cadillac C, GM Super Cruise, Nissan ProPilot. Well, let's just go look at Nissan ProPilot real quick. Here's how you activate it, and you tell me how safe this is. Let's watch just how much time this driver keeps his hands. Look at that. He's looking away. You got to reach down, way down here to hit steering assist. Okay. His eyes are not on the road. Now you can look down and see, oh, looking down. Now I've got to turn on cruise control. There it is. It's on. Okay. And now I can activate it and I can set the follow distance. That's not safe. That's not safe. And the Nissan system here does not have eyeball monitoring. So it is double not safe. It is a bad system. Why aren't you crusading against that, Dan? Is it because you are financially motivated to see Mobileye succeed and financially motivated to see Tesla fail? Tesla and its CEO did not respond to a request for comment. Of course not. Why would they? Musk followers have accused Dan of a conflict. Yeah, that's where we're at. Tesla maintains its software is intended to be used by fully attentive drivers. Correct. It is morally indefensible to not make these systems available to a wider set of consumers. Citing figures, it shows a lower prevalence. Yeah. The people would have it banned if they only knew the truth. If they only understood what it would do, Dan said. Well, that's our job. The politicians aren't going to move until the public moves. The two ads highlight anecdotes, and that's it. Still, Tesla does nothing. Boycott Tesla to keep your kids safe. Ghoulish. Matt Smith pointed out what Dan O'Dowd is doing with this smear campaign is actually quite evil. He's using anecdotal evidence and scare tactics to convince people that Teslas and autonomy are dangerous. The opposite is demonstrably true. So if people believe him and opt for another car or pass on FSD, or worse, pass laws and regs that slow it down, vehicular deaths will increase unnecessarily. I generally try to stay balanced on the issues, but in this case it seems quite clear that there is blood on his hands. It is indirect blood caused by inertia of the status quo in vehicle safety, but still blood. To which I said, paint on his face, oversized shoes on his feet, and blood on his hands. That's correct. That's Dan in a nutshell, where he belongs. The other ad set to air, the crash, another anecdote. Oh, so terrible. Tesla dances away from liability by pointing to a note buried deep in the owner's manual that says autopilot is only safe on freeways. What are you talking about? I mean, where's the note that says cruise control is only safe on freeways, really? I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't believe, I've never seen that. Shockingly, Tesla refused. The commercial continues, leading into footage of a semi-truck crash. The ads are airing in DC, California, Delaware, and Michigan. I guess that's a Super Bowl ad. I saw a Super Bowl ad too for Bob's Sporting Goods. Yeah, Bob's Sporting Goods. I've never heard of it. They have one location in my town, and they don't have $500,000 to put up. It's a sporting goods store with one location. They probably paid $10,000, $20,000. It wasn't even a 30-second ad, maybe. Don't recall exactly. anyone can buy them. I tried to look up to find out how much a Super Bowl commercial is, and it is very difficult to find anything other than the national price. The local guys don't like to publish the rates because I guess it's non-competitive or something. But yeah, it is very hard to find the local rate. He probably paid more like 30 to 40,000 per market. So a total of less than 200,000. But yet he says, "Oh, I bought a Super Bowl ad, you guys." And that's what clowns like Yahoo News, I guess we could just call them Yahoos, that would make sense, look at and say, "Yep, this is the real deal. This is the real deal." Musk has the company is facing concerns over stagnating revenue. Not really. Mounting worries about its capacity to deliver long-promised FSD technology. And Wall Street hand-wringing over persistent distraction of its mercurial CEO. It has shed billions in value, down more than 17% in just the last month. I can show you all kinds of time frames if you want to play the different time frame game. That's none of that has to do with anything. Dan would love it if it was true that he had any influence over that, but he doesn't. He doesn't. Even the Cybertruck coming out and being shown by MKBHD and Carmudgeon and CarWow, that didn't move the needle. That was tens of millions of impressions, all of them favorable, and the stock didn't move. You think this guy is going to move the stock? Come on. And by the way, the Dawn Project, been on YouTube for a year, still not enough subscribers to monetize. Yeah, that's because he's terrible and people see through it. So in the comments, I got to ask, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? All that good stuff, leave it. You know what you got to do. Everybody else, like, subscribe, do the usual, and stay tuned, stay juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the next one.